Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. For this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make this awesome flat back marble bracelet. So this video is kind of going to be a continuance of the first flat back video I did and the second flat back video I did. In the first flat back marble video, I showed how you could take the marbles and glue them onto paper, and also showed how to make your own wire bails so you didn't have to go to the store and spend any money on bails. So this was a very cheap, inexpensive project, and as you could see, it turned out beautifully. In my second marble video, instead of gluing paper to the back of the marbles, I showed how you could take the marbles and crackle them, and then I showed how you can paint the backs of them to get different looking colors, and I also showed how you can make your own wire ring blanks so you didn't have to buy any ring blanks to attach these flat back marbles to. So, since I already showed how to do the paper and I already showed how to do the crackling effect, I am not going to show how to do that in this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these little links here so you can connect the bracelet together, and I'm going to show you how to put the marbles on them and other little things like that, just so you can make the bracelet. So if you haven't seen the video of how I do the paper on the back of them, I will leave a link for the pendant video down in the description bar, and if you haven't seen the video where I crackled them, I will also leave a link for that video down there in the description bar. So here are the two bracelets that I've been working on. This one here is already finished. This one here I used some recycled paper from an old calendar, and I really love this little bracelet. It's like it's telling a story. It's so cute. And this bracelet over here, I did the crackled flat back marbles, and I just did a rainbow of colors. I have pink, purple, blue, teal, green, a pale yellow, and a white. So I'm really loving these, and these bracelets are actually very simple to make, but I will say they do take a little while because you're going to be making several of these links and you have to glue them together, and you have to wait for the glue to cure and stuff until you can connect them together. So now I'm going to tell you the list of materials that you will need to make these bracelets. Here is the list of materials you will need to make this bracelet. You will need 6 8-inch pieces of 18 gauge aluminum wire. And by the way, this is not the same aluminum wire that I used to make these rings. This aluminum wire is much thicker than this wire. I found this 18 gauge aluminum wire at Home Depot, but you can also find it at craft stores in the jewelry making section. You're also going to need 6 small flat back glass marbles, and these are from the dollar store. They're very plentiful at the dollar stores. You're also going to need an E6000 glue. This is the best glue for jewelry making projects like this, and the glue I found at Walmart, it was I think less than $3. It was pretty cheap. You're also going to need split rings. These are not jump rings. These are the split rings. It's like a keychain ring. They're much more durable and stronger than jump rings. You're also going to need a lobster claw clasp, which I already attached to my bracelet here. And you're also going to need plastic from either a soda bottle or a water bottle. I just cut the top off a soda bottle, and I cut the bottom off of it, and I have this plastic here. And I'm going to use this plastic to cover the back of our marbles. And if you don't have a water bottle or a soda bottle, you could probably cut the plastic off of a yogurt cup or a cottage cheese or something like that, and it really doesn't matter if it's white. It really doesn't matter what color it is because it's going to be on the back of our marbles. So this is the list of materials you're going to need, and now I'm going to tell you the list of tools you will need to make this bracelet. So here is the list of tools you will need. You will need chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, wire cutters, split ring pliers, scissors, a ruler, and a fine point permanent marker. You can see how fine that is. You're also going to need a 1/2 inch round object to trace around, and for me it's this glue pen here. I just take the cap off of it and I trace around this here because this is exactly 1/2 inch round. And I just use this glue pen for paper beads because it's really awesome for using with paper beads because you don't have to use the bottle and it's refillable. And you're also going to need either a toothpick or some kind of a pointed tool. This here is a bead awl. I've had this thing forever and I use it all the time. It's very useful. So this is all the tools you're going to need, and I know it seems like a lot of stuff you're going to need to make this, but believe it or not, I use everything I'm showing you guys to make these bracelets, and I'm hoping that I did not forget anything, and if I did, I will put it down there in the description bar. So make sure you look down there to see all the materials and the tools, and also the links for how to put the paper on the back of the marbles and how to do the crackle effect. So this is all the materials and the tools you will need to make this bracelet. The first thing we need to do is to get our marbles ready. So go ahead and decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to glue paper to the back of your marbles, or do you want to crackle them and paint the backs of them like I did here in this bracelet? So what you need to do is you need to get at least 6 or 7 marbles prepared. And for the measurements of this bracelet, I found that 6 marbles in a bracelet makes 7¼ inch bracelet. Now I normally like to wear an 8-inch bracelet, because when I wash my hands, I can slide the bracelet up my wrist and I can wash my hands without my bracelet getting wet. So this bracelet here is actually 8¼ which is a little long for me, but that's no big deal because I can stack other bracelets with it, and you know, you don't even realize that it's kind of too big doing it that way. So again, you're probably going to need about 6 marbles, and if 7¼ is too small for you and you want it just a little bit bigger and you don't want an 8-inch because normally maybe you wear a 7½ inch, what you could do is just add a couple extra links on the end of your bracelet, which is over here. So you would add like 3 links on the end of your bracelet, and that would just be an extender. So anyways, go ahead, get your marbles ready, paint the back of them, crackle them, whatever you want to do, put paper on the back of them. Just make sure that you have 6 to 7 marbles ready, and once you've done that, we're going on to our next step, which is to make our little link connector here. So now I'm going to show you how to make this little link, and this is a close-up of what it looks like, and not every single one of them that I make look exactly the same. They're all kind of slightly different. It depends on how tightly coiled the spiral is, I would say. And this one's pretty tight. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to measure the wire every time so I'm not wasting a lot of wire. And I found that 8 inches is the perfect length for making this spiral. Now, I'm trying to get this as straight as I can because measuring a bent wire is not going to be very accurate. Okay, so right here is 8 inches. Cutting the wire. I'm going to put this off to the side. So now what I have to do is measure the wire again, and I'm going to find center of my wire, and the very center is right here at 4 inches. Okay? So I like to hold it close to the end, but not the very end. Now, be very slow doing this. Don't be fast because it's going to mess up on you, because I've gone fast and I've totally screwed it up and had to restart. And you can't reuse this wire because when you bend it too much, it gets weak. So, holding it about right here in my pliers, I'm going to bend it like this. Okay? And I'm just going to bend the wire back onto itself. So this is what I have. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to bend it onto itself, just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, going slow, bending it onto itself. Okay, now I'm going to stop here, and as you could see, it's not totally flat. It's kind of messed up. But that's fine, because all I have to do is flatten it with my pliers. Now, when I'm bending this in the spiral, I like to hold it this way and work in a clockwise motion. So I'm going to hold it here, and I found that it's best to hold the spiral close to the jaws down here of your pliers instead of at the very end, because sometimes it likes to slip at the end of the pliers. So I'm going to hold it here and I'm going to bend this. Okay, just like that. I'll stop here, turn it around, hold it here, and I'll bend this side. Okay, I'm going to stop there, turn this around, hold it here, and bend this side. Stop again, turn it around, hold it here, bend that side. Stop and turn it around, hold it here. Okay, just take your time doing this. Whenever I go fast doing this, I have a loose spiral and it does not look nice. Okay, I'm going to stop and turn it. It's wanting to slip on me. If you have nylon jaw pliers, they work perfectly for making this, but I realize that a lot of you might not have the nylon jaw pliers, so that's why I didn't use them for this video. And I'm using chain nose because this is like the most popular tool that everybody has that does drawer making. Okay, so I'm still holding it and I'm wrapping it around. And I forgot to mention, if it does seem loose on you, you can hold it between your fingers like this, really tight, and pull the wires to like tighten up the spiral. Okay, so again, I'm going to hold it here and I'm going to bend it around, stopping, coming over here, holding it here, and continuing to bend it. So far it looks pretty good. Okay, so right now I'm going to stop and I'm going to put it against my marble and see what it looks like. And by the way, each time you make a spiral, I recommend that you have your marble ready and you're putting it up to your marble, checking it out, because not every marble is the same size or shape. Some are round, some are oval, some are a teardrop shape. There's all different shapes and all different sizes. And when I was making one of my bracelets, I realized that I had painted one marble that was really small and all my other ones were the same size, so I had to repaint another marble. So let's see what this looks like. This looks pretty good, and actually I might have overwrapped, or actually I know what I'll do. I'll put the links or my loops here on the sides. So I'm going to bend this just a little more, like that. Bend this side, like this. Okay, let me see it again. Yeah, I think I'll do it this way. Okay, so it will look like this, and I'll have my what's it called, wrapped loops in the sides. So I'm going to hold my spiral, and now I'm going to go to my round nose pliers, and I'm going to make a wrapped loop, and I'm just going to do one wrap. Okay, so I'm grabbing my wire and I'm bending it like this. I'm going to hold it like this in my pliers, not the very tip of my pliers, but what look like this, make it look like this, holding it, and I'm going to make one loop, swapping sides. Okay, and this is what I have so far. I'm going to make one wrap just like that. Take this off so you can see what I just did. Okay, now I'm going to get the cutters. This is the flat side of my cutters. I'm going to cut this extra wire off just like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to bend this loop here up onto this wire, because right now this wire is sharp and we don't want sharp jewelry. So I'm going to take this little loop here that I just made and I'm going to bend it up onto this wire. So now it's overlapping that loop and it's not sharp. Okay, so see how there's a little gap here? To fix that, you can bend it down and even go past, you know, the back of it there, and then just bring it out and just sit it on top just like that of the spiral. Okay, now I'm going to do this side, and I'm going to go back and make sure this is flat. It does seem like it's wanting to lift up there. Okay, now I have to make my second loop straight across from my spiral. So let's see, maybe about here. I'll bend it. Okay, that looks good. Bend there. And then I'm going to make one wrapped loop. I'm going to go around and wrap it one time. taking my cutters, I'm going to trim my wire right there. Okay, so I don't have that sharp edge. I'm going to move this trimmed wire up like that so it's overlapping this loop. Okay, and again I'll bend this down so that it's more tightly put together. Okay, just making sure this is flat, and it looks pretty good. The wires straight across from each other. So now I'm going to put this against my marble and make sure it fits. And it fits just right. Okay, so now we have to attach our spiral to our marble. So I forgot to tell you guys, before we glue the marble, the flat back marble, onto the spiral, what we have to do is cut out several of these plastic circles. And what this plastic is doing is it's preventing the glue from touching our skin, because I know that you guys were worried about the glue touching our skin in my pendant video that I did. So putting the plastic on the back of the spiral totally prevents that. And also, because it's so smooth, when you wear it with the plastic on it, it's very smooth on your skin. When I had just the glue on the back of the spiral and I put the bracelet on, it like didn't want to move on my skin. It was like, it's like the glue is like a rubber texture when it dries. So putting the plastic on the back of it really made a big difference. So I really recommend that you guys put plastic on the back of the spiral so it's not touching your skin. So in order to cut these, what I did is I just took my plastic and I held it like this, and I just cut out about a 1-inch strip of the plastic. Okay, and now after you cut it out, you might notice that it's kind of round. So what I did to make it more flatter, because once you cut the circles out and you glue the circles down, the circles kind of curl up because they're round. So what I did is I'm holding it like this, so the round side is down, the round side's facing down, so it's like, how can I say it? It's like this, okay, and the round side's down. And I'm holding it like this, and I know you can't see it in the camera, but what I do is I push it against my desk, the very edge of my desk, and it straightens it out, and it really makes a difference. Okay, so once you do that, now we are then ready to trace our 1/2-inch round object and make a circle. So this glue pen that I'm using, I actually found these at the dollar store. It was Dollar Tree. I got 3 of them for $1, and I used them to make paper beads. But you know, I was looking all around my room trying to find a 1/2-inch round object, and the cap on this is 1/2-inch round. Now if you don't have this glue pen, just look around your other stuff in your house that's 1/2-inch round, like look through your makeup and markers and stuff like that, because you'll find all sorts of things that are 1/2-inch round, like lip gloss. I think mascara tubes would be too big, but just check out your stuff and try to find a 1/2-inch round item. Okay, so what I do is I just hold it down onto my thing here and I trace around it, and then I have my circle. And what I like to do is I like to trace several of them all the way down this strip, and then I just go to town and I cut them all out at one time, and I make a big pile of them. Because when I go to glue the spiral down onto the marble, right after I glue this spiral on and I get it to where it's staying still, I then just grab one of these and I glue it on. So it kind of makes it faster when you have everything already ready, like all the marbles already painted and the paper on and stuff like that. So this is just making it a faster process. So once you get all of these cut out, and you will need 6 to 7 of them, then we are ready to put the marble, the spiral, and the plastic circles together. Okay, so now's the time that you will need either the toothpick or a pointed tool. You're going to need your marble, a spiral, a piece of plastic, and you're going to need your glue. So, when I'm going to put this on here, I kind of check both sides, because I noticed that one side of the spiral will fit better to the marble. And to me, I see a gap here, and on this side, I don't really see much of a gap. I think it's a better fit on this side. So you have to remember which side you lay it down. So I'm going to lay it down like this, so when I pick it up, I just drop it down, okay? So now I'm going to put glue in the back of this, and because I have some holes right there in the center of my spiral, I'm going to try to avoid putting the glue so much in the center. I'm going to do like a donut shape on the back of my marble. Okay. Just going to go like this. I will put some in the middle. Okay. Wipe it off. Make sure you put the cap on the glue right away, because I noticed that if you don't put the cap on, you set the whole tube to the side, it'll just keep pumping and pumping and pumping out, and you look over and there's a wad of glue pouring out of the tube. Okay, so I just put that on the back, and remember I said that this was my good side, so I'm just gonna drop that down on there. And what I do is, instead of pushing it down my finger, I use this tool to press it down. And what glue expresses out, like on the sides and stuff, I just grab it with the tool and I wipe it on top of the marble. Okay? And I go all the way around it, pressing it down, making sure it sticks. And again, whatever oozes out on the edges, you can wipe off and put onto the back of this. Okay. You want to make sure that it is centered on your marble. And you could wait a minute or so for it to cure some. Okay. Seems like it's on there pretty well. I am pushing very hard, trying to get it to ooze out. Okay. So now I think I'm ready to put the plastic on the back of this. So this time I'm going to put the glue right in the middle of the spiral. And it's pumping out on me. Okay. Then I'm going to take the plastic and I'm going to put it on. Okay. You want to make sure that there's no air bubbles, because if there's air bubbles on the edges, then that means that it could peel off on us. And you might have to spin the plastic. On this one I don't have the black edges like I have on this one, so it's a little hard to see the plastic, but I just try to cover it the best that I can. Okay, it looks good. Try not to press it really hard, because you'll squeeze so much glue out that you'll start to have air pockets. And if you do start to have a lot of big air pockets and you think it might peel up, what I do is I just flip the marble upside down and I'll set something on top of it, like my cell phone. I put that on top of it and I let it sit there for maybe 3 hours, and I went back and I picked it up and all of the big air pockets were just little bubbles. And you really can't prevent the little bubbles. I'll show you on this one here. If you look closely at this one, you could see all these little air bubbles, and that's not bad. But what is bad is big air pockets, like this one. If this was closer to the edge, I would be more worried about it, because then the plastic could peel up. But it's more to the center of the marble, so it's not bad. But yeah, this is what the back of it looks like. You'll have these tiny little bubbles. Okay, this one here, there's actually barely any air bubbles. Yeah, that was a lucky one. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this cure, and I already have one finished, so I'm gonna show you how to connect this onto my finished bracelet. This one's already done drying. So now I'm just gonna connect this split ring onto these two marbles here, and I found that it's best to connect two together at the same time, because if I were to connect this ring to this marble and then pull that all the way through and then opened it back up and once it connected to this, chances are I would end out with this, one of them upside down. So I found it best to connect both of them at the same time. So what I do is I take the marble and I hold it like this with the glass part facing me, and I put it into the split ring. Okay, and then I take the other marble and lay it bottom to bottom, so this bottom of that marble is touching and the bottom of that one's touching, and I connect the other one on. Okay, did I get it on there? I can't see. Okay, I got it on there. So what I like to do is I just, these here are kind of frustrating, I just go straight to my round nose pliers and I put it on like that. Okay, so that's how you connect the marbles. So I still have to wait for my last marble to dry and I'll put it on here, but this is what they look like so far. Okay, after you add on your last marble, make sure that you put a split ring at the very end of it so your bracelet will close properly. And if you want your bracelet to be 7.5 inches long instead of 7 1/4, all you have to do is connect 3 split rings and attach it to the end of your bracelet. So this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe so you can see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry you've made from my videos on my Facebook page. And you can also now follow me on Pinterest. And if you guys like this video, I think you're going to like the next one too. So keep watching.